Mordecai Misha Ziring was born in 1932 to Leah and Yona Ziring. He was raised in Stanislav, a city in eastern Poland. There were approximately 400,000 citizens in Stanislav, of which 100,000 were Jews. When Misha was 7 years old, World War II began. Stanislav was transferred to the Russians as part of the Ribbentrop-Molotov Agreement. During the Russian rule, the family situation actually got better. Misha's aunt Chaya and uncle Azriel were activists in the Communist Party. Therefore, when Stanislav was a part of Poland, they were imprisoned because of their political affiliation. When the Germans entered Russia, the family realized that they will be the first to get caught. Therefore, they decide to run away. Chaya and Azriel used their political connections and organized the escape. The decision to escape was accompanied by serious doubts. In fact, not all the family members fled. Most of the family members who stayed in Stanislav were viciously murdered later on. Misha remembers the last time he saw his father, Yona. It was shortly before Yona was drafted to the Red Army. Yona told his 9-year-old son that now he is the head of the family. Now he needs to be strong and protect his mother, Leah. Yona agreed with Leah that she wouldn't wait for him, and that they would meet at a family member's house who lived in Kazakhstan. A few weeks later, Yona was killed when his company stepped into a German ambush near the town of Vienna. The family's escape was bound east, deeper into the Soviet Union. They traveled for 3 long weeks, running further and further eastward without clear destination. Eventually, they reached the city of Aktyubinsk in Kazakhstan. From there, they drove on oxes to Kolkhoz, 60 kilometers from the city. Kolkhoz is a form of collective farm in the Soviet Union. Misha lived in that kolkhoz near Aktyubinsk with his mother Leah and their parents in a single room. They lived in the same apartment together with another family. In other words, they were 7 people in 1.5-room apartment. The next stop was the city Namangan in Uzbekistan. The entire family received a single-room apartment. At the end of 1942, Pnina, Misha's grandmother, died from typhus. In the middle of 1943, Misha's grandfather, Shlomo, died from typhus too. After all these tragedies, Misha lived with his mother, Leah, his aunt Chaya, and his cousin, Kopel, in an apartment in Namangan. They stayed there until the end of the war. For their livelihood, they knitted scarves. Every day, Misha would knit a shawl or a scarf before he was allowed to play. In exchange for the scarves, the family would receive food rations. When the war ended, they returned to Stanislav. The family's apartment there has become a kind of transit camp for survivors who passed on the way. In mid-1946, the 4 moved to Wrocław in Poland. In 1947, one of the Jews who stayed in the apartment suggested that they cross the border into the Czech Republic. In the Czech Republic, they spent about a month in a transit camp. Then they moved to Austria, where they stayed for several weeks and moved to Einring, a transit camp in Germany. In Einring camp, Leah met Lipa, her second husband. After 8 months in Einring, they moved to the Lechfeld camp, where they stayed until the end of 1948. Towards the end of 1948, Lipa, Leah, and Misha went to Marseille before coming to Israel. Eventually, they boarded the ship Atzmaut, which reached the shores of the country on January 12th, 1949.
Nowadays, Misha lives in Kiryat Motzkin, happily married to Hannah, the father of 3 children, 9 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. I am proud to say that this is my family history. I am thankful for the opportunity to hear this story firsthand and to share it with people all around the world.